You can't see me. Do. Welcome once again, one and all, to another live stream. Can you see me from here? Maybe. Can you see me from here? Maybe. Not really, but it's okay. Once we get the match started, you'll be able to see me a whole lot better. But we have got a great match of the week coming up this week. It is Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, WWE title, Summerslam 2003. Super duper excited to get this going for you guys so we can watch it in its beautiful, glorious entirety of all 23 minutes and 21 seconds of this as we prepare for our upcoming ACPW versus NWL court-martial podcast coming up on Friday. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell button so you can get everything CMP so you're the first to know. And we are going to have a great time for you here today. But I want to get something out of the way first. Talk about something that's been going on recently. I don't even know what to say about it. It's okay. So here's the deal. There's this dude. I'm sure most of you know him. His name is Hannibal. And the reason I say most of you know him is that this is a very smarky podcast and I wouldn't expect you to know any different. But a couple of weeks ago, Hannibal was like one of the big shoot interview hosts, who I guess is a former wrestler, and now just shoot interviews after shoot interviews. He's got a pretty good following on YouTube. So I guess like 3 or 4 weeks ago, Jim Cornette said something along the lines of, "I don't care for him." And his co-host Brian Last said the same. And really there was a whole kind of mess going on as far as what I'm not really even sure what he said, so maybe you all can clear this up for me as to why Hannibal got so upset. But apparently this really pissed Hannibal off. So Hannibal responded with, "Oh, look at my numbers on my YouTube channel versus the numbers on his YouTube channel, and look who's better." And it was kind of a shticky comeback. To me, it was definitely a shoot, but it felt like a work, because I didn't feel any sincerity coming out of it. I think he was really trying to defend himself, but it just didn't. It just dripped of insincerity, right? Well, but then over the next 3 weeks, he would not let this Cornette thing go, and he would say the cult, the cucket, and he made all these jokes, and I guess the Cornette followers also started kind of reining in on him, because I guess Hannibal, when he was a wrestler, had like this camouflage face paint he used once, and everyone called him blackface, which is kind of dumb. Honestly, because camouflage is not the same thing. But for like 3 weeks, he's been on this thing and fighting against the cult of Cornette. And I don't get it, because it's like Jim said that in passing, and Jim has not once, and I listen to a lot of Jim Cornette, Jim has not once mentioned this dude since. But Hannibal cannot get Cornette out of his mouth. And personally, for someone who's got so many more subscribers and followers and Jim Cornette, it kind of seems like he's reaching for attention here, like he's reaching for publicity. And I just don't get it, because it's like, if you have twice the amount of subscribers and twice the amount of views as Jim Cornette, what do you care, unless you are openly admitting that Jim Cornette has a lot more name recognition, which it makes more sense to me. And I mean, honestly, when you look at who Jim Cornette is and who Hannibal is, if you walked up to somebody on the street and said, "Do you know who Jim Cornette is?" chances are there is a better chance that people are going to know who Jim is than there will be Hannibal. They're going to be like, "Hannibal, isn't that dude who surrounded the Romans back in 800? Or I know that's not accurate at all, but that's what you're getting on the street. There's 3 or 4 names. Isn't that the dude that ate that dude's face? You're going to get 4 or 5 different responses before you reach Hannibal, the wrestler. And now I'm not disputing that Hannibal isn't tough. I'm not disputing that Hannibal is somebody who knows how to work. I've never seen a single one of his matches, not once. But this is where things get interesting, right? In his defense of Jim Cornette, he says, "I'm retired as a wrestler. I'm a journalist. I'm unbiased. I just do my own thing. So if he doesn't like what I've got to bring to the table, that's fine, because I've got more subscribers." But then he keeps going on the cult of cucket and "Oh, he says a wuss, this guy's a wuss, this guy's a wuss." And then we get to Cody's open challenge, and Hannibal now says, "Oh, I'm not retired. I want to face Cody on AEW." and Cody's ducking me, and Cody's just a coward and a piece of garbage and blah blah blah. Well, Cody has had no response to this at all, and there's like, oh, I made an open challenge to Cody, and I made these challenges, and he's made video after video after video about this thing, and it's just, again, instead of like contacting, you have to imagine Hannibal, who was a guy who has interviewed tons of wrestlers over the years. You'd think that not a single one of them would have the phone number to Cody or to Tony Khan to contact them privately about booking a match like this. But no, let's go on the YouTube channel and make a big publicity stunt out of it. And it really just, it screams of desperation by Hannibal's part. I think Hannibal has realized that even though he is one of the most successful shoot interviewer of this moment, nobody knows who he is still. And I think that bothers the hell out of him. And I think that really his whole thing is just trying to get a mainstream payday. And so one of the fans of Hannibal then tweeted to Cody saying, oh, you're a coward for not accepting his challenge. Dusty must be spinning in his grave. Cody responded with, oh, that's classy. And then the other guy said, well, you're being a coward. And he says, no, I'm not going to accept the challenge. I have one rule, and that's don't bring up my dead father. And you crossed that line out. So I don't know what to tell you. And then Hannibal's like, oh, you're making excuses. And then it was just nonstop. This whole thing today was just Hannibal. To me, this just screams, I'm wickedly insecure about my success. For someone who is allegedly so successful, I am afraid of what my success is, and I don't know what my success level is. And obviously, I didn't get the name recognition I thought I would through this whole thing. So, I don't know. To me, Hannibal's being a little bit of a bitch doing this whole thing, just calling people out and not even doing it like respectfully. Like, to me, if he really wanted that match booked with Cody, he could have contacted that privately to make a big hoo-ha and show of this. And like, again, I know this is a shoot because he's behaving like it's a shoot, but it sounds so insincere because he's so desperate for attention that it feels like a work. And I don't understand it. It's like, why are you doing this, man? And listen, I will be the first to claim, because a lot of people have said that this dude, Devin Hannibal, is a real tough dude. I'm not saying he's not. And I would probably not say this to his face because I'm a chicken shit heel, and I would not say this to him unless I had somebody big like Jeff Cobb behind, in front of me, and me in between me and him, and then I'd say all this stuff that I want because I'm a chicken shit heel. But, and I'm not saying he wouldn't kick my ass for saying it, but to me, I don't really care about the numbers about my podcast versus his whole shoot interview stuff. To me, it screams of desperation, and I don't like when somebody who's supposed to be this objective journalist just screams of desperation. So get your shit together, Hannibal. I don't know what it is that you're doing, but it needs to stop. Go back to doing shoot interviews, or go full-fledged, do your own channel of non-shoot interviews where you don't look like a jackass, because you're playing yourself. You're working yourself. You're shooting yourself into a work. It's just, there's something to be said about that. So, moving right along, speaking of fun, people who know how to shoot and can also work, Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle. I don't think this is even my favorite match of these two. These two have had a lot of good matches, but this is guaranteed going to be a fun one. If you're following along, I put the link in the comment this time. It's on the discussion board, so you are more than welcome to hop along and join me as I watch this match. This is going to be a fun one. I needed a palate cleanser after watching the abomination, which was Dusty and Carino and Funk from MLW, and then the abomination in a different way of Jericho and Swagger and the Fandango and all that. So hopefully this is going to be something of a palate cleanser, something to keep ourselves at bay here. If you want to follow along, I'm going to count you in. Feel free to comment. I've got my phone ready, so if you have anything to say, I will be happy to comment back on it, and I'll be able to see what you say right here, right now. So with that said, it's time to get going. Click the link in the description or click the link right there on the chat, and we're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. And it's Kurt versus Brock. And is that Kyoto? I think that is my Kyoto. AEW is my Kyoto, nonetheless. And now the dog talking through, blah, blah, blah. Got to keep it clean. Got to be happy. Fun time, family. I forget who was heel and babyface in this. I do not remember who was heel and who was babyface. All right, here we go. Here we go. The match has started. And this is, of course, a year Cole mentioning a year after Brock won the WWE title. I miss this Lesnar. This Lesnar was fun to watch. I mean, not to say that older Lesnar isn't fun to watch, but this was, I think Lesnar was still really trying to work here instead of knowing that he could get away with doing very little. An angle. Oh, nice slam. I miss Michael Cole and Taz. Before Michael Cole was absolutely insufferable, as he is now, as he is very much now. And just straight up mat wrestling to start. Love it. I love it. Neither getting the advantage. I forget. Again, I kind of got to wait a little bit to see who's heel and who's babyface because they're doing a bunch of clean stuff. I want to say it was Brock who was heel at the time, because had he joined Vince at this point? I think so. I think he had. And look how agile Lesnar is. Look at how agile Lesnar is. We haven't seen that kind of quickness in him in a long time. Oh, what a shove. I love Brock doing that back and forth, that hop back and forth. It fit him so well, just that getting pumped up back and forth deal. Yeah, Lesnar's definitely the heel. He's got that cockiness. This was a weird time for SmackDown because, like, Brock turned heel, and then Kurt turned heel, and then Kurt turned face, and then Brock turned face, and then like these guys turned heel and face a lot in the time that they wrestled each other. Maybe this is a babyface match. It's hard to tell. Brock Lesnar taking arm drags. Just remember that. Brock Lesnar was taking arm drags. Here goes Hugo Savanovich's. Oh, and we've got an ad. We've got an ad. What a surprise. We're probably going to get several of these. But I don't care. I don't care what it is you're selling me. I do not want it. I do not want it. Boo to you, sir. Boo to you, sir. I don't need a car. I've got a car. Thank you. First, I'm like Brock right now, kicking the steel steps. I don't want ads in my match of the week. Kicking that steel step. Brock's about to use it. Yeah, that's how I feel. Brock just chucking those steel steps. Look at Brock staring, and then you see Tony Schimmel and Mark Eaton just getting the hell out of the way. Yeah, Brock's okay. So Brock is a heel here. What a bump. Now he's going outside. I wonder if they'll get back in for the count of 10. I wonder if the referee has to be a little liberal here. Nope, Brock's going to throw him right back in. Ring smarts. Ring smarts. When did we lose the ring smarts? Who started the whole losing the ring smarts? It can't just have been the Young Bucks. Oh, what a slam. Smack to the face in the barricade. Angle in. God, Kyoto's super skinny in this one. Yeah, this is long before Cole got insufferable. Really, Taz was the only guy, I think, in Michael Cole's entire tenure that made Cole listenable. I never even really cared for Cole and Jerry when Cole was substituting for JR when he got fired 7,000 times. Oh, damn. Just heaving Kurt over the top. Ah, lunatic fringe. He said it. He said it. He said it. No Dean Ambrose, though. Down goes Kurt. Oh, into the steps. Well teased, well supplied. You know what's interesting is that even though Brock's a heel, like he doesn't have to do anything. Like he doesn't have to do anything to cheat in order to beat Kurt Angle. At least not at this stage, because Brock's already like earned his salt as far as like being such an athletic guy. Oh, kick to the head. Kick to the back of the face. For those of you who get that reference. Wow. That was an insane belly to belly. Brock didn't even leave his feet. We are not that far into this match, and we're already, I mean, everything is high octane with these guys. Hyper intensity. That's what made their rivalry so damn good. Everything was intense. That was not the cleanest tilt-a-whirl backbreaker I've ever seen. I'll openly admit that. Oh, what a cover. And a kick out. And more ads. And again, why are you trying to sell me a truck? Oh, this is a minute 38 ad. Yeah, like hell we're going to watch a minute 38 ad. All right, back to the action. They won't even give us a segment into it like a commercial break. Brutal. Headlock, Brock grapevining the legs. I still love Taz's commentary here. He's talking about this grapple, and he's talking about how and Brock transitioning into the body scissors. But Taz is talking so much about like the actual mechanics of the hold, and Taz has always been good at that, of breaking down the actual like hold and the position of where he needed to be. Oh, and a kick out. These two gentlemen are already very, very sweaty. There's just a pool of sweat. There's a pool of sweat where these two have been sitting. Particularly Brock. Brock is a very sweaty individual. Well, there's a weird flurry there, the hope spot, if you will. Oh, is this these 3 backbreakers that he does? Yeah. Oh, he just did one. I think this is something that Lesnar should put back into his arsenal, is those backbreakers. Because it was one of the things that really sold me on him back in the day when I was originally watching these matches. Because this was right around the time that I became a fan, was 2002, 2003. Like, really hardcore became a fan as far as watching the programs and not just getting the cassette tapes from the video cassette store of like King of the Ring 93 and all that. Remember that Kiss My Foot match between Brett and Jerry while we're thinking about it? Why? Why? I love Jerry and I love Brett, but why? That was unnecessary. Weird stipulation. I would have much rather seen those two just have a straight up match. What is this? 3-handled suplex. That was just impressive. Notice that Brock doesn't really press his full weight of his chest down on those covers. He kind of only half does it. Yes, the shoulder thrusts in the corner. Vintage Brock Lesnar. Is Kurt biting Lesnar? It's hard to tell. Brock with a pie face. Good God, come on. Okay, at least this is somewhat wrestling related because there's Stone Cold Steve Austin tanks. The hell is this? Sergeant Slaughter, wait a minute. What is this, WWE and tanks? World of Tanks Wrestling Edition. Okay. At least that's wrestling related. I'll give him that. I'm still not buying it, but at least that's wrestling related. To me, this might be my favorite Kurt angle. This 2002, 2003, like when he first turned bald. That's my favorite Kurt angle. I mean, I like a lot of his TNA stuff too, but like this was really A-grade stuff that Kurt was putting in. This must be another hope spot. Lesnar came in for the thing, charged too fast, hit his shoulder. Kurt's trying to get his breath, can't capitalize. Awful lot of dudes in the audience, at least on the hard cam side. And a shoulder block. Oh, that's smart. Hitting the shoulder to hit the post. See, Cole? That was a good call because I was a little confused. Now I'm getting Summerslam ads on the bottom of this. This is like nothing but advertisements. Angle did almost like one of those Cena shoulder blocks. Oh, yeah, German time. What do you think had the better hat trick of Germans between the two, Benoit or Angle? I think I think they both made that work so well. I think it better fit Angle than it did Chris, but I think Chris made it work just as, I mean, for his level of technical acumen, it was just as useful. And belly to belly. And, you know, Brock just taking that and multiplying it by 10. And for another belly to belly. Angle slam. Nope. Oh, he definitely should add that spine buster back into his routine. Brock Lesnar, that is. Woo! That was a close one. Oh, I forgot how nice that looked. That F5 into that DDT counter. Oh, that was beautiful. And this might be... I would imagine that Kurt has made the comeback at this point. But, of course, this is going to be a little more even-handed than that, so you may not get any standard, you know, comebacks the way you would before. Okay, I do like the Jimmy Dunes breakfast bowls, because I don't want to get sued, and I'm not going to put a product placement in, but breakfast bowls by a certain product man thing, they're tasty. It's wickedly unhealthy, but very tasty. Kurt taking the straps down. Something that fit Kurt so well, but never would have fit Rob Van Dam. Think about it. Van Dam taking the straps off wouldn't have done the same. Angle slam. Is it a retain? No way. He's kicking out of that. Barely. But I think Kurt kicks out of an F5 here pretty soon. But Kurt's putting the straps on again to take him back off, right? Isn't that what he's doing? Yep. Kurt puts the straps back on just to take him back off for the ankle lock. That's great. That's the kind of small stuff that I love from Kurt. And Brock got to the ropes, but not enough. Was Brock great, or not Brock, was Angle grapevine it at this point? Uh-oh, ref. And Kyoto's dead. How can Kyoto ref for AEW when he just died? Right in front of me, right here. Can't. Now, what the hell is this? Even Cole said it. What the hell is this? It's like supposed to be a... I'm not even sure. It's supposed to be some lock on... Like, Angle's got Brock's waist, and then, like, Angle's legs are, like, up on Brock, but I'm not... I don't think this would really do anything to somebody. But Brock is down. Oh, sneaky. Is there interference in this match? I can't remember. All right, ref's still dead. Kyoto's still dead. Does he tap here? I think he taps and then the ref doesn't see it, right? I think so. Is this where we're going to see a massively run Charles Robinson sprinting down the ring? No, he did tap and nobody saw it. Ah, there is interference from Vince. Of course, what would this match have been without Vince McMahon? Of course, in a Hawaiian shirt. What is he wearing? What is Vince wearing? It's like this nasty gray shirt that he expect like my drunk uncle to wear. But I was right. It was Brock was still in Vince's pocket. Ah, great selling from Lesnar. He just did an F5 on one leg because he made sure that the ankle was well sold. That was great. Great adherence to kayfabe, Lesnar. That's beautiful. 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 Lesnar's pissed. Man, Vince has got the greatest I can't believe he did that shit look. And again, once again, here we are. Blah, blah, blah. I'm doing an advertisement. Can we, just go back to what we're doing? Thank you. We only got 3 minutes left. Wait, 3 minutes? No, they're not here. They're not here. It's the right time period, but they're not here. No 3-minute warning. Oh, Brock's taking the elbow pads off. And Brock's still selling the ankle. I love it. You don't see that anymore. You don't see selling like that anymore. Going for another ankle lock. That was beautiful. Another F5 counter into an ankle lock. Now, this is a finisher spam that I can get into because it's still slow, it's still methodical, and it still makes sense. And it's not just finisher, then finisher, then finisher, then finisher, then finisher, then finisher. You could be high octane without going 100 miles an hour. Vince, that shirt really does not suit you. Now Kyoto trying to stop Vince. And Brock tapped. Something you never see today. That'd be a way to put somebody over. Make Brock tap. And Angle makes Brock tap despite Vince's interference. All right. And Michael Cole finishes this match with his voice still, which is not the case that happened in WrestleMania 19. But still, Kurt was beloved by the fans. He really was. When he was a babyface, I mean, he was so good as a heel. But when he was a babyface, Kurt really deserved the cheers that he got. Who knows how much crowd noise they pumped into this? Probably significantly less than they did the later stuff, because there are actually people cheering at this point. I love the La Parka equals ratings sign that they've got up here that they blurred out earlier. And now Vince, Vince is about to get a chair. Vince gonna get an angle slam on the chair. Yes, sir. Oh, it's Vince's birthday. Even better. Even better. Is there anyone that Vince McMahon didn't get on the bad side of during this time as Mr. McMahon? That was great, though. That was a great, and also, not to mention, Kurt hit Vince on that chair perfectly for the chair to give flat, so that Vince probably didn't feel any of that. That was so well executed. Kurt Angle, what a match. Good match, good finish, good stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Da, 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 da. I don't need to see Shawn Michaels getting punted by Orton for the second time. But great match of the week. Fun times. It was nice to be back on having a halfway decent one. Now, I want to answer some questions before we get into ACPW versus NWL on Friday. I have been asked by several of you, am I watching SummerSlam? Begrudgingly, because reviews seem to draw the best amount of views on this channel. Begrudgingly, I have agreed to watch this show. I'm going to watch SummerSlam. And then next week, I'm going to have Skyler back on the show, and he and I are going to review SummerSlam 2020, virtual fans and all. I have no doubt I'm going to hate it. But because you want to hear quality review, quality time between us and you, and what is happening in the most current form and current situation, I have agreed to watch this show. I am not going to live stream it. I'm going to actually sit through the entirety of it, unlike Backlash, which I watched an hour of. I'm going to watch it in its entirety. I'm going to take notes, and then we're going to have a podcast of it. I don't have it in me to do a live stream of it. I just don't have it in my heart. I don't have it. I just don't have it. It's just, I can't do it. But I will watch the show. I will hate myself for it, and then we'll discuss it. Now, as far as TakeOver goes, I think I'm going to live stream TakeOver. I'm going to try to live stream TakeOver on Saturday night, but I'm not positive on that. So don't quote me as that being a full-fledged thing, but in the event that I don't, I'm going to try and watch it still, and maybe I'll do a review of it on my own time, or we'll kind of condense that into what is already going to be, I'm sure, a long podcast talking about SummerSlam. But I think I'm going to live stream TakeOver, and then we will just have the review on SummerSlam after that. But for now, thank you very much for watching. We will see you on Friday for the ACPW versus NWL Week 3, and then we will see you from there. Thank you very much for watching. Keep it real. We'll see you next time. See you next time.